Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's such a wonderful day. I thank you guys for zooming in today. My name is Dr. Thelma Scott, and I'm the founder of Safe Communities Radio Talk Show. And I just want to let everyone know today that I have some wonderful guests, and I'm so excited to have the guests today. And they're going to tell you a little bit about what they're going to be doing out in the community. For your information, Safe Communities Radiodabang show is a show. We are nonpartisan. Anyone is welcome to come on the show and let your constituent know what you're going to be doing in the community. That's for anyone. Just call up. Her name is Mrs. Anna Flores, and the number is 346-298-8819. You can call if you'd like to be on the show and tell what you're going to do for your community. If you just like to come on the show and tell whatever you're going to do with your program. But thank you so much for tuning in today. Right now, I'm going to introduce my co-host right here, the one and only Sunshine. She's going to tell you a little bit about herself, and then I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Allen, and she's going to introduce our guest today. But thank you guys for tuning in. All righty?
Good morning to all these sunshiners out there. Happy Monday. And, of course, happy Women's History Month. Not only that, but happy Texas Independence Day. So, right. And then we welcome our guest. Thank you so much for tuning in. And once again, we're here with Safe Communities, celebrating Women History Month and also celebrating our students, continuing to be able to get donation sponsorships to be able to bless our students throughout the year. We're in the season of March already, and yes, pretty soon they'll be graduating, so we're always looking for your support. You don't have to have a business. You can be an individual supporting students. And also, I'm Sunshine Rodriguez with Sunshine Personnel Solutions. I specialize in staffing and HR, and I'm very honored, and it's always a pleasure and honor to connect with y'all and to be a part of Safe Communities as a board member. So I do specialize in blessing people that are looking for employment opportunities. We deal with clean backgrounds, misdemeanors, and felons. We give out second chances to people. So we're always looking to partner with different employers to be able to bless our students and our people that are looking for employment opportunities. With that being said, we are looking for people to support our upcoming July 18th event for Safe Communities. If you are an individual or have a business that would like to showcase, we are looking for people to support and be a part of the exhibitors' booths, and also to share and come out and support your business and support our students.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Oops, sorry. My name is Dr. Cynthia Allen. I am president and CEO of C. Allen Productions Unlimited, an entertainment production company. I am also an advisory board member of Safe Communities. I've been part of this organization for many years, and I am just excited to be here this morning. We have some very exciting guests in the studio this morning.
Yes, let's get your hand. All right.
Yes. We have State Representative Ron Reynolds, and we also have State Representative Charlene Ward Johnson.
Yes.
And we're going to let them tell us a little bit about what they're doing and what positions they're actually running for.
Well, okay. Well,
Take it away.
I am so delighted to be in the studio with Safe Communities Radio. It is always a blessing to be with these dynamic, amazing three women as we celebrate Women's History Month. I couldn't think of a better way to start it off than with you, and also my amazing colleague, Representative Charlene Ward Johnson, representing House District 139. She is, she has been a blessing to work with, and I'm gonna kick it off to her.
Yes, I am State Representative Charlene Ward Johnson. I was sworn in 2025 of last year, and I became the first woman to serve in this role. So that's a history tidbit for you. And House District 139 is North Houston. It's north of 610, Acres Home, Inwood Forest, Oak Forest, all the way up to Spring, Old Oaks. So it's a big area, but it's all the north. And so I am happy to be here to continue to, get out awareness of how important elections are and how we are continuing trying to improve our neighborhoods and our communities together. It's a collaborative effort.
Okay, that sounds good. So, state representative.
I was going to say,
Sharon, can
yes.
you kind of? I know it's been a little confusion because in my district right now, I've been in Houston for 35 years, but I've been in the 18th congressional district for 35 years.
Right.
But that's changed, so
That's
a lot of
right.
my people they're confused.
Yes.
Can you kind of shed some light on that because we need to know about
Yes,
that? Right.
yes. It's
Thank
so
you so
important.
much.
It's so important that people understand that because of the racial gerrymandered redistricting that Representative Ward Johnson and I fought hard against, people are now aligned in new districts, particularly those that were in the old 18th that were in Acres Home and the north side are now almost all of them are now in the 29th congressional district. And those who used to be in the 9th congressional district that Al Green currently serves, including Missouri City, Hiram Clark, part of Pearland, Stafford, a lot of my constituents in Fort Bend are now in the new 18th congressional district. So there's been a real big realignment that a lot of people are being confused when they go to the polls. But that's why it's so important that people look up their ballots before they go vote so they can make a plan. And I know that Charlene can talk about a lot of the confusion that is caused on the north side is caused a lot of confusion on the southwest side and the south side as well. Many people I know, they say, "Oh, I went to go vote, but I didn't even see the person on the ballot." I said, "Well, you're in a new district. That's why." And so this has caused a lot of confusion. We've tried to do as much voter education as we can. But people need to really understand that this is a very critical election. This is the primary election. Election day is tomorrow. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. until 7 p.m. This will determine the nominee to go on the ballot for November to represent the Democrat and the Republican Party. We have contested races for governor, for lieutenant governor, for state representative, for Congress, for judges, for constables, for justice of the peace, you name it. All of that is on the ballot.
Right.
For county judge, county commissioners. There's so many things that are on the ballot this election cycle. And I may be biased, but I've proudly endorsed Representative Charlene Ward Johnson to be reelected because she's done a real strong job in representing her constituents. I couldn't think of a better person. And I will say, speaking of the new 18th, I have, proudly, and he wanted to be in the studio, but he couldn't make it in. But Congressman Al Green sends his regards. He's represented the 9th congressional district for over 20 years. Unfortunately, he's now been moved into the new 18th congressional district, and it's really unfortunate because I do like the Congressman Menifee. I think he's a fine young man. Right. But during this time, we need experience. We need people that understand the ropes, seniority, that during these tough times dealing with President Trump and everything that they're trying to do to erase the progress of African Americans and the good trouble that was made to break down a lot of barriers. Congressman Green has been speaking truth to power, unbought and unbossed. And I hope that people will remember when they go vote to vote for Congressman Al Green.
Okay.
Right, and I think part of the confusion was we had a special election in January that was the old Congressional District 18. So people went out to vote for that in January, and then now they come to March and they're in a different congressional district. So that's part of the confusion. The voter registration cards came out later than usual after that election. Then they got their voter registration cards. And so people were just confused going to the polls as to what was on their ballot. So if you haven't voted, please go to harrisvotes.com and look up what's on my ballot so you can see, what's on there. Like you said, we have the different positions from governor, go all the way down the ballot because there's also 10 propositions on there as well, Democratic propositions on the ballot, and there are Republicans on the Republican side as well. But be an informed voter, research your candidates, what you're voting for, but also what candidates are on your ballot. But the special election in January confused a lot of people because then the next, because that was a runoff.
Right.
And then now we're in the 18th, we're in the 29th, so my district was formerly the 18th, and now we're in the 29th. Okay. Everything north of 16 is now the new congressional 29th, which is a confusion to a lot of people as well.
In addition to Harris Votes, for information, people can go to the League of Women Voters. They have a nonpartisan voting guide that shows people's positions and platform.
Right.
They can get that online, or they can go to the libraries. Most of the libraries carry them. They can get a hard copy. So either way, be an informed voter. There's a whole lot of different candidates that are running. The only way you really know what a person stands for if you look at their record or where they stand on different issues. So that harrisvotes.com tells you what precinct you're in and who your representatives are. But the League of Women Voters gives you a guide that you can get information that we have to fill out questionnaires on where you stand, like on Medicaid. Where do you stand on this issue or that issue? So you'll know at least before you go vote where the person stands.
Right. So what you're saying, State Representative Romero, you're saying whatever they want to check out what they support, right? So you're saying they can go online and find out what that candidate support. If they support what they support, right?
Right.
They support Medicaid.
That's important.
Mental health.
Right. Mental health.
People with disabilities,
they
housing.
Yeah,
Homeless people. Yes.
It actually to list where your priorities are,
Yes.
right? And you can tell a lot about a person by their priorities. What are your top priorities?
Right.
And so and they do it for Democrats, Republicans, so people can make informed decisions before they go vote.
Right.
But harrisvotes.com and then fortbendvotes.com tells a person which precincts they're in and who their representatives are based on where they live. You can put your address in and you'll see exactly where, because a lot of people were surprised to know they're not in the 18th anymore.
Right.
They're like
Well, I was
shocked.
definitely surprised.
Yeah. And Representative is right. It wasn't until just recently that you had the runoff election. They were doing that just in January.
In January.
Now it's a whole
It's
new
March.
election for the newly aligned district. And it's caused so much confusion, but I can promise you it's not by accident, it's by design. They want people to be confused.
And they
because
are.
when people are confused, they just say, well, I'm just not gonna vote. You know?
Right.
And
That's right.
and that's what the other side wants you to think, that your vote doesn't count. But this election could be decided by 1 or 2 votes.
Right.
Every vote counts.
Right. Can you tell them what the last day that they need to go and vote, cast their vote?
Well, it's tomorrow.
Okay.
So Tuesday,
Tomorrow is
March
Tuesday.
3rd is Super Tuesday in Texas.
Green Day.
So if you don't get to the polls by 7 p.m., you will not be able to vote.
You're done.
And I can tell you that we've had a great turnout,
Right.
but still so many people haven't voted. There's still millions of people that hasn't voted yet.
Right.
Well, we've had a large turnout, but we need more people to exercise their right. That is the most fundamental right we have as American citizens is the right to vote.
Yeah.
And we know that as we celebrate Women's History Month, just finished
Right.
Black History Month,
Right.
so many people died at that for that precious right to vote.
Right.
We just buried Jesse Jackson, and we think about Dr. King and Rosa Parks and Fannie Lou Hamer and so many
Yes.
others.
Right.
They did everything they can to break down Jim Crow barriers. So we can all vote, and now we can vote, and many people ashamed stay at home.
Right. I just wanted to say, I'm glad you guys talking about it because some people don't know that they vote counts.
Yes.
And it's
Carries.
something no
Right.
one take it away
That's
from
right.
you.
Right.
Your
That's
vote.
right.
Right. That's your
Nothing.
vote. That's your
Yeah.
Can't
power.
take-
That's
That's
right.
your power.
Right.
It's your
Power.
vote.
That's
Whether
your
you
vote.
whether you Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, or a homeless person, your vote counts the same.
Yeah, your
one
vote
man,
counts the same.
one woman, one vote.
One
so
vote.
you may be able to influence some votes by TV commercials, but your vote is just as important and it counts just as much as anybody, no matter what
Right.
their color or money or status. It doesn't matter. Everyone has the same equal vote.
Right. And it's so good for everybody to check out whoever you're voting for.
Right.
Look at their resume. See what they support. If you want to vote them, can't nobody tell you how to vote. Remember,
Right.
it's your decision of who you want to vote for. But just go and check everybody's bio out and see what they support. If it's something that you want to vote for, then you go and vote for it.
Right. I have an
Okay.
example of
Go
how
ahead.
important your vote is. There was a city council vote in Pasadena.
Okay.
It was 2 people, and it was a tie. It was a tie.
Okay.
Both people received the same amount of votes. So the decision was made to flip a coin on who was going to serve.
Are you
Yeah, it's a
kidding?
real
When was
story.
that happen? When was
Yes,
that?
it was just last year. They had to flip a coin to see who would win that seat, and luckily it was the incumbent who won the seat.
Right.
Yeah,
With
so
the
that's
flipping
how
a
important
coin.
your votes are. It
Yeah.
could come down to a flip of a coin.
Unbelievable.
Rather than you going down there choosing your leader, choosing who represents you. You left it up to the flip of a coin. So that's how important your vote is. Your vote carries weight. So that's why you have to go and vote. Because I've seen races be lost by less than 50 votes, 34 votes.
There was a race in Sugar Land City Council some years ago
Right.
that the winner won by one vote in a runoff. One vote.
One
A
vote.
Missouri City Councilwoman, Monica Riley, won her election by 8 votes. 8 votes.
8 votes.
8 votes.
That's close.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So you're
so
right. Every
important.
vote counts.
Every
Every
vote
single vote counts. Don't let anyone tell you that your vote doesn't matter.
Right. It's more than, I know you look at TV, you look at CNN, and you're yelling at the TV. You don't like what's going on in Washington. You don't like what's going on in Austin. But you have to ask yourself, did you contribute to it?
Yeah.
You know, if you didn't vote, then you contribute to what's going on right now.
That's right.
Right, because some people doesn't vote because back in the day, they were taught your vote don't count.
Mm-hmm.
And I know in 2023, I was working with TOPS outreach for the community outreach for seniors, and there was a senior that was 70 years old, and she never voted in her life, right?
Wow.
And we wanted to pick her up to take her to vote. She said, "Well, I never voted." She said, "My vote doesn't count."
Oh,
and I was so emotional because I never met anybody 70 years old, my age, that never voted before, right?
My sister say
Yeah.
my vote doesn't count.
She said, "My vote doesn't count," and so it was. And I remember that we was on this van picking up people, and I remember Dr. Sandra Scott on there, and her daughters, everybody on it. So I was so emotional, right? So I got on the bus and I was crying. They said, "Miss Scott, are you crying?" I said, "Girl, I know something about 70 years old and never voted for
I know,
nothing."
right.
So I was shocked.
Ooh.
I've been
That's
voting
sad,
since
yeah.
18, and that's what I preach. 'Cause
Right.
kids and parents can't be in my program unless they have to vote.
Thank you.
And so I was so emotional, and they laughed about me a long time. I said, "I don't care." They say,
Right,
"Girl,
'cause that's
what you
serious.
crying for?"
It's a
But they
serious
don't vote.
matter.
Just don't vote. No, it's personal to me. I want to make sure everybody votes, especially when you're 70 years old. You never voted in your life. Thinking that all this voting that you never voted,
Thank you.
you think
That part.
you
Leaving it up
thinking
to
you
chance.
thinking in your head
Right.
that they done manipulated you to think that your vote don't count. That did something to me. I was emotional for a while. Listen, I told them, y'all go ahead and laugh at me because I tell you what, this is personal to me to see a 70-year-old senior citizen never voted in their life. That was very hurtful to me.
Well, that's why I'm happy you have shows like this to
Right.
give people
Encourage.
and voter empowerment,
Right.
voter education. You know, we have to do more because we can't assume that everyone understands the power of voting because some people
Right.
don't.
They don't.
So thank
They
you for
don't know.
having this platform for
Yes.
people to hear, reasons and get information because a lot of people just don't know.
And it's so important because, and I thank Mr. Maud Khan, the owner
Yes.
of the show, and our board member. So I asked him, and he said, long as we promote nonpartisan, because
Yes.
anybody can come on the show and talk about what they're going to do for the community. We don't do Democrats, we don't do Republicans, we don't do anything. Anyone can come on this show. So we want to make sure that they get it right. So
Right.
I was saying, like my daughter said, don't get it twisted.
Right.
Right?
Just
Don't
the
get it twisted.
information
It's
out
not
there.
political. Anyone can
Right.
come on this show and talk about what they're going to do for their community. And people needs to know because a lot of people don't know that they vote counts.
Right.
Right? It's important. Like you said, State Rep Charlene down to one vote. Flip a coin.
Yeah.
Flipping the coin.
Flip a coin. Now that's sad. And
Wow.
what you say, State Rep Ron, you say lady won by what?
One vote. Yep.
One vote.
Her name
That's
was
important.
Amy. Can't remember her last name.
Right.
But she won by one
One vote.
vote.
They tell you how
And they
important
did
it
a
is.
recount, and sure enough, it was one vote. She won.
is.
Yeah, it made the difference.
Perfect example.
So,
It made a difference.
every vote counts. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. They trying to fool you, hoodwink you, bamboozle you. But voting is your superpower. Yeah, it is. It
And
really
don't let
is.
no one vote for you.
That's right.
You have your own vote.
Yeah.
Put your conscience.
And look at this room. I mean, African American, Hispanic, we're the majority. And
Right.
if we vote in our alignment, our strength, then we can run the city and the state and the country. So I'm encouraging all minorities, particularly because we're under attack with these anti-diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. It's so important that we get out and vote because when I see what they're doing with these ICE raids, when I see what they're doing to our schools, HISD, and
Right.
everything, shutting down, closing down schools
Right.
in black and brown communities, vouchers,
Yes.
taking away our public money to give subsidized wealthy kids going to private schools.
Right.
Those kids they don't look like us. Many of them have rich parents, so that don't need
Right.
the state
It's support.
resources. But within our neighborhood public schools are suffering because of this. That's why everybody needs to go out and vote.
Right.
And we need to get rid of Mike Miles and HISD. The only way we do that is we get rid of Governor Abbott and these people that are in control. They're not looking out for our best interests.
Right, they're not. I want to ask each one of you a question. State Rep Charlene Johnson, can you tell me and my host here what prompt you, what you saw in the community that prompt you to want to run for state rep?
It was the attack on DEI in our schools was prompting me
Yes,
to
don't
run.
you want me to talk about on DI?
We'll get started.
That I saw how it was impacting our schools, not being able to offer scholarships,
Right.
not with jobs, and if you had a job, they'll fire you to
Right.
say it was DEI.
Right.
That's an excuse to fire you to say, oh, you were a DEI hire, but they don't understand that was just we just need the opportunity.
Right.
We're just asking for equal opportunity to get the same jobs that everybody's getting.
Right.
It's our education, our expertise that keeps us there.
Right.
All we want is the foot in the door,
Right.
to take away the stereotypes,
Right.
to take away any barriers that would prevent us from having
Right.
an equal opportunity. That's how DEI was meant
Right.
to us.
Right.
Because once we got there, we show how we could stay there and run with the best of them.
And make a difference.
And make a difference. That's all
Yes.
we wanted was the opportunity, and to say that you're a DEI hire, or to fire you based on that when you were able to do the job equally
Right.
as best as anybody there.
Right.
So that prompted me. Our infrastructure in our communities, other than the schools, we have flooding issues.
Yes.
Some areas have an issue with having just clean water that we
Yes.
may take for
Right.
granted. So
Right.
that was and then having healthcare access
Right.
in our area with lack of quality healthcare
Right.
and air quality control, EPA. Just
Yes.
that prompted me to run, making sure we have a representative there who had the experience, because it's only 140 days.
Right.
You only have so on day one you need somebody that can step in on day one.
On day one, go to
and
work.
to go to work and get
And
legislation and execute
execute.
and have the relationships
Right.
for the people, the senior members,
Right.
to be able to lean on for advice to get this stuff done.
Right, that
It's just
is.
a collaboration.
Okay, Representative Ron, can you tell us, you've been in for a while, what prompted you to want to reach out? What's in the community that you want to change, that you want to run for office?
And wanna
Can you tell us?
continue.
Yeah.
And want to continue.
Well, so when I ran, it was an incumbent that I defeated that was on the wrong side of issues like stem cell research.
Okay, yes.
She was, Catholic, and she didn't believe that we should be using stem cells, but stem cell research
Right.
helps find cures for different diseases. And and then she wasn't really present in fighting and advocating. So I
Right.
decided that, with the encouragement of former Constable Reuben Davis.
Okay.
You remember Reuben?
Yes, very much.
And he encouraged me to run. I was the president of the local NACP, and I was very active.
Right.
And he said, you should really think about it. And I prayed about it, and I was
Right.
already volunteering with the schools
Right.
and different things.
Being engaged.
So, being engaged. So I decided that if it is to be, it's up to me.
Right.
And I ran, and I'm very gracious that I did, and all the support I had.
Right.
And I continue to advocate for strong public schools,
Right.
for criminal justice reform,
Right.
for when it comes to procurement for minority businesses, hubs. I'm proud that you work with the contractors and working with them, the various minority contractors associations, to make sure that we have a strong minority women business enterprise program
Right.
that has obviously been under attack, and they're
Right.
trying to eliminate our hub program.
Right.
But just being able to fight for equal pay for equal work,
Right.
raise the minimum wage. So there's a
Right.
lot of issues that I've been a champion for. Medicaid expansion.
Yes.
Charlene and I, it was her bill, worked on to increase maternal mortality.
Right.
Black women lead the nation in Texas in maternal deaths.
Right.
And I was proud to join author
He's the
of a
first
bill
person.
with her, and we you know, so we have a long way to go. And Texas leads the nation with the highest number of uninsured, advocating for Medicaid expansion. We're now one of 10 states that with no Medicaid expansion.
Right.
Yeah, we're losing billions of federal dollars. So those are some of the issues that I've been championing. You know.
Right. That's one of us. Can you tell us a little bit about the public can hear about that bill that y'all championed that was passed? That bill.
Black women mortality morbidity bill. It was to raise more awareness. Black women now Harris County is the number one place where Black women are dying after giving birth.
Right.
Harris County, where we have the number one medical facilities, our Black women are dying more. So we wanted to create more awareness, create a study so we can reduce that amount to see what needs to be done.
Right.
Why are Black women dying after giving birth? Is it stereotypes? Is it lack of prenatal care? Is it lack of knowledge what's going on? So that was the number one. It passed out of the House, but it died in the Senate.
Okay.
They were wanting me to remove the word black off of it. You know, and Ron was like, "Oh, we ain't removing black." Because the fact is, black.
So y'all didn't remove it, huh?
Right. Black is the one that we're the number one race and gender that are dying.
That's dying
after
for
giving
it. Yeah. Okay. So too much. So y'all, what you say? Y'all stood y'all ground, huh?
Right.
Yeah. Y'all was speaking truth to power.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
That's why we need more people
Support.
to get elected that are supportive of Medicaid expansion and Black women maternal mortality and increasing the minimum wage. Because we can support it all day long, but if we don't have the majority, then we can't get it passed.
Right.
We can file the bills.
Right.
But we won't ever be able to pass them. So people have to go out and vote, and they have to vote their values and put people in office that care about them and their issues. That's why, you know, every issue on the ballot is going to impact them one way or another. You know, from governor to lieutenant governor, all the way down to your justice of the peace and your constables and your state representatives. So people need to go at the top of the ballot for U.S. Senator and governor, but keep going all the way down to the ballot. That's why education is important, because in Harris County, y'all have a long ballot.
That's a lot of judges.
A lot of judges.
Yes.
So don't get voter fatigue. You got to you got to be in there for a little bit. That's why it's so important to know who you're voting for. You can bring a sheet in there. You can't use your cell phone. Yes, you can. You can.
I didn't tell them. They said they couldn't bring
no,
you can't bring your phone.
You can't bring your phone.
You can bring the you can bring your paper.
You can bring
your sample ballot.
You can have your sample ballot. You can bring literature in there. The literature. You can bring all of that in there. But you just can't. Only thing you can't do is you can't have your cell phone and say, okay, which I think is ridiculous, but that's just the way the rules are. But you can bring any paper in there.
Oh, that's one.
With notes.
Absolutely, yes. I want to vote for this person, this person, this person. You can bring a sample ballot in. You can bring literature in, whatever you want to bring in to help you to make an informed decision. You just can't, unfortunately, bring your cell phone.
Right, because you can't remember all the names.
No.
Absolutely, I agree.
That's a lot.
Well,
you guys,
very few people know all them people.
I know it. Well, I want to thank you guys so much for being on the show today.
Thank you for having us.
Information, and I hope that praying that you guys win your seats, whatever you're running for. Thank you guys for being on the show. We're going to be going into our second segment.
Yes.
But thank you guys, and you guys have a wonderful and blessed day.
Have a blessed day. Thank
and I want to ask y'all one more question before y'all go. Do y'all believe in helping a student go to college and stay in college?
Oh, absolutely. Okay. Yes, I serve on the Higher Education Committee.
Okay,
and Ron is the chair and founder of
the Texas Legislative HBCU Caucus.
So Dr. Allen and Sunshine and Dr. Scott, we're looking for a donation.
We
Am I
got
clear?
you. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I just want to ask y'all before y'all leave out the station, right? But y'all believe in it. Y'all believe in education, right?
Yes, we do.
Kids going to college and staying in college? Yes. Okay. That's all I want to know. Y'all have a wonderful and blessed day.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank y'all.
Thank you for the reminder of all the challenges and the reminder of the importance of voting.
Go out and vote.
I want to be able to come back and talk about the Black women mortality.
Okay.
And because infants are included in that as well.
Okay, baby.
All right.
Got you.
Thank you.
All right. Y'all have a blessed day.
All right. Thank you so much. Okay. We're going to hold on. You guys are watching our first segment. We're going to pause for a little bit to allow our other guests to come in and get ready. So thank you so much. But please tune into our second show. Again, I'm Dr. Thelma Scott, and I am the host and founder of Safe Communities. And also my host, Co-host?
Sunshine Rodriguez.
Dr. Cynthia Allen.
Put talking and I can't hear you well here. Okay.
Dr. Cynthia Allen.
All right. We're getting ready. We're going to pause for a minute and let our other guests come on in. All right. Okay. You guys.